Welcome. Welcome to Lou Tales, Toilet Story Part 2. Today I'll be talking about two stories. One is Himanshi Shelat's story, The Door. The other one is Neha Singh's story, I Need to Pee. Who is Himanshi Shelat? Himanshi Shelat is an acclaimed Gujarati writer, a professor of English literature, a social activist, Sahitya Academy Award winner, a board member of the Sahitya Academy, former chairperson of the Juvenile Welfare Board of Gujarat, and she is someone who has had direct experience with destitute children. These experiences have shaped the stories, the short stories, and the novels that she has written over a long period of time. Himanshi Shelat was very saddened by the indifferent attitude of her students while teaching, and so she decided to move on to social activism. And she spent a lot of time working with poor children, orphan children, on platforms of railway stations, in remand homes, and children living in the slum areas. She also did a lot of work with sex workers. All this has shaped her writing. All this has shaped the stories, the novels that she has written. This particular story, The Door, is a dark and disturbing tale of a young girl, Savli. It is a story that evokes the fear and the turmoil, the trauma of being unable to go to an open space and defecate or relieve oneself. The story begins with Savli's mother berating her. She hasn't gone to the toilet for the past 4 days. There is no toilet as such. The toilet that she is talking about is actually an open ground near the slum where they live in a small hut. And she has to go to the other side of the ditch, find a shady place, and sit there and relieve herself. She has to keep a lookout for other people. She has to keep a lookout for insects or frogs or earthworms that may crawl up her feet while she is sitting there in the early light of dawn. Her friends Savanti and Devu are unruffled by the whole experience. She finds that they can nonchalantly sit anywhere, squat anywhere, and relieve themselves. She envies this, but she is unable to do so. So this is how the story begins, with the mother berating her daughter for not being like other children. She refuses to understand the mental anguish and the turmoil that the little girl is going through, or going through every day, every single day, when she has to relieve herself. So she finds that it is better not to go for 3 or 4 days. And the mother does not understand the pain, the physical pain, the mental anguish that the child goes through. Then we find that her friends start talking to her about periods, monthly periods, something that Savli herself hasn't got so far. And she is further thrown into anguish when she hears about this dreaded monster that descends on the female body every month and remains there for 4 days. Soon the family moves to the slum area in the city, and there Savli has her first brush with the public toilet. One of her neighbors takes her to the public toilet, and when she sees the door of the toilet, she feels very calm and she actually feels comforted that there is a door. But when she gets into the toilet, she finds that the latch can be easily opened. So she tells the neighbor and her friend to keep a watch at the door. Both of them get very busy talking and they forget about Savli sitting inside. What happens is a burly man comes up and he opens the door from outside, catching Savli unaware. Poor thing, she is terrified. She is humiliated, ashamed, embarrassed. And when she comes out, the man smirks at her. He even winks at her. Savli's experience in the public toilet is extremely painful and embarrassing. What passes for bathrooms in most slums is a couple of bamboo sticks thrown together and covered with pieces of cloth. And most women and girls who have to have a bath are never at peace when they enter into this ramshackle structure, because they are forever afraid of peeping toms. And these makeshift bathrooms are situated at positions where people keep walking past. There are mill workers who go by there. There are these unemployed louds who keep whistling. So it is not possible to have a bath with peace of mind. So overall, Savli's experience is very, very troublesome. It is very painful for her. Moreover, when she was a younger, she was made to sleep outside the hut with her brother. Her brother would sleep on coolly, unaffected by the sounds and the sounds of jackals, the slithering sounds and the sound of the falling leaves. But poor Savli, she would keep awake the whole night, and one day when she could not bear the fear any longer, she had gone to the door of the hut and tapped on the door. Her father came, opened the door, and when he asked her why she had knocked on the door, she explains that she had been afraid. He immediately slaps her. From that day onwards, Savli had stopped knocking at the door at night. So she spent her nights and days in turmoil and anguish. One day, a fair comes to the slums, a fair or a mela, and it is being held in the open ground. After a lot of persistence, Savli's mother very reluctantly agrees to allow her daughter to go. She gives her 5 rupees and she keeps thinking that the 5 rupees will be spent completely by Savli and the money hasn't been earned by Savli. But still, she allows Savli to go and tells her to always be with Savanti, her friend. They arrive at the fairground and they find that the bangle sellers are surrounded by crowds of people. Suddenly what happens? A stampede occurs. And in the ensuing confusion and melee, Savli's hand slips out of Savanti's hand. She keeps searching for Savanti. She starts crying. She searches through the crowd. She keeps crying out for Savanti. She starts sobbing aloud. But no one is bothered about this little girl sitting and crying. Everybody is running helter and skelter. Suddenly, a kind-looking woman comes close to Savli and she asks her, "You stay in Dayalji Nagar, isn't it? I'll drop you there." And Savli is relieved. The woman takes Savli along with her in an auto rickshaw. They travel through many lanes which Savli does not recognize. Small by-lanes, narrow lanes, crowded with buildings. Finally, they arrive in front of a big building, full of doors and windows. And when Savli looks up, she finds that there are a couple of faces peeping out of those windows. And soon they pull back. There is sound of laughter and music from the building. Even the doors which are open have thick curtains with huge flowers on them. Savli looks at the place and she wonders, in such a big place, there would definitely be toilets. She hasn't gone to the toilet for the past 3 days. She hasn't defecated for 3 days. So she thinks that such a place might have a clean toilet. And so she decides that she will ask the woman about the toilet. Her stomach is rumbling. She feels pain in her stomach. So as soon as the woman comes out of the building, Savli asks her for the toilet. The woman takes her inside the building and shows her 2 toilets. One is pink tiled, the other is blue tiled. Savli had seen pink toilets in movies. She remembers a particular scene where she had seen a young actress covered with foam in a beautiful pink tiled bathroom. So she decides to go to the pink tiled bathroom, which is spotlessly clean. Both the bathrooms are spotlessly clean. There is a door, and she decides to go into the pink tiled toilet. She checks the door is strong, and she feels so happy. She feels so relieved. She feels so thrilled that finally she can go to a toilet which has a proper door which can be secured from within and which will ensure her privacy and safety. So she is standing there, so happy, so thrilled to see this toilet, when somebody behind her tells her, "Now get inside." So she steps into the toilet and the door is immediately locked behind her. It is bolted. And that is how Himanshi Shelad's story ends. There is a probability that the little girl, Savli, was trapped inside the toilet of a brothel. She was probably trapped in a prostitution racket. It is a dark and disturbing tale of a little girl's yearning for a toilet and finally finding herself caught inside the toilet of a brothel. The next story that I'll be talking about is Neha Singh's lovely illustrated book, I Need to Pee. Now, this particular book has a little girl, Rahi, as the protagonist. She is somebody who loves to drink fresh juices. And because she drinks fresh juices all the time, she has to keep going to the loo. Her mother keeps telling her not to drink so much water. Now, she, her brother Tanay, and her mother are going to Meghalaya to meet Rahi's aunt. It's a long journey by train. So they have to travel up to Guwahati by train, and Rahi has to use the public toilet on the train. Train toilets, as all of you know, as all of us know, can be a very nightmarish experience. You never know what ghastly sight you're going to see when you open the toilet. And children especially, they're very, very curious about toilets. Little children are not at all conscious about their bodily deeds. They are very closely examine their bodily functions and they're not hesitant about asking questions. So even if we keep telling children not to pee in public toilets, children have to go. They have to pee. And they don't care about the surroundings. They actually close their noses and they are very unconscious. The only concern that they have is to relieve themselves. So Rahi is just like that. She goes to the toilet in the train, and this particular story has the old style toilets where you can see the earth rushing under the train when you look through the hole in the Indian style toilet. There is an illustration of that in the book also. So when she looks through the hole and she finds the track running fast, it sort of whirls in her head, and but she manages to relieve herself and she comes out. And then they have to go to Shillong by bus. So she has to pee again. So she tells the bus driver to take her somewhere where she can pee. And whenever people try to stop her, she takes out her book of important quotes and she says, "Every child has the right to drink water. Every child has the right to pee when they want." So finally, the bus driver takes her to a crowded bus depot where she goes to the public toilet over there. What Rahi is looking for is a safe, clean toilet experience, just like Savli in Himanshi Shelad's story. Finally, they arrive in Meghalaya, they arrive in Shillong, and again Rahi is intrigued because here she finds dry toilets and she is fascinated by the dry toilet where a bucket full of mud is placed nearby, and after you finish whatever you have to do, you attend nature's call, you have to cover the poop or the pee with a shovel of mud. And she finds it very interesting, just like all children. She's also very curious and she loves this act of covering up the poop or the pee with mud. So this is a story where the protagonist is somebody who's very clear about her priorities. Of course, the backgrounds are different. Two different girls, two different backgrounds, two different circumstances, but the basic theme is the same. Both of them are looking for a safe, clean, private toilet experience. One of them ends up probably in a brothel or a prostitution racket. The other one manages to reach home, be with her family, be with her auntie in Meghalaya. So this is something I wanted to share with you. I hope you enjoyed this particular talk on two stories, and I will leave you now. Thank you.